Alright, so this is Fieldwork number 7 for December 7th. I colored to kind of go back to the back and forth thing. I colored this heart pattern type thing. I don't know why, but kid So I wouldn't say that I'm particular. I'm not a very organized person traditionally. I'm kind of all over the place. But with coloring, I tend to just be very organized like that, so to make it a more soothing activity as opposed to just coloring. I guess you could say coloring mandalas. They're cool. So I'm very particular about how I color, especially with markers. Colored pencils, yeah, you can, crayons, yeah, you can get about, but markers, they, I don't know. So it's just kind of a weird thing on my part, and we always use markers here at Schweiger to bring, I have a point, I promise. So we always use markers, and so I'm very, particular about how I color, even with the kids, even this early in the morning, I still color how I usually color it, and these kids think it's the coolest thing, and not even the fact that I don't color out of the lines, but the way that I color, they're whoa, you're good at this, and I'm thanks. 22 years of practice. I guess it does something to you, you know. But so, a bunch of the kids were dude, can you help me color this thing? And I was okay, fine, I guess. And so, they kept on there, here, you color it this color. And I was why don't you, start it, and then I'll color the rest of it. So it'll be, a team thing. So, because, I can't be out here trying to color, 5 different pictures at once, okay? So I was you color it first, and then I'll color the rest of it. And stuff like that. So it was very, team effort type of thing, but they were wow, you color so good. And I'm okay, thanks. I guess. I don't really know. I think I was better at favoritism. Same girl came up, and she was one of the people who was, or one of the kids that were can you color this for me? And, and I told her the same thing that I told everybody else. I was you need to, why don't you start it, and then I'll color the rest of it. And she wanted to be no, you color all of it. And I was no, I'm not coloring everybody else's for them. You need to put in your work too. It's your picture, you color your picture. She's okay. So pretty lit. I got several hugs from several small humans today, so that was cool. Or yeah, so I played tag, which was, it's always interesting to play tag with small kids, because you're my legs equal 1.5 of you. This is not if I really tried to run as fast as I can, it would be no contest. And you also want to make it fun for them, but also you're fun for them means that you're basically it all the time. So it's I guess I'll just run really slow, but make it look like I'm running fast, but not actually run fast, just run really, really, really slow, and try to tag them, but not really try, because but anyway, so played tag. It was lit. To bring it back to class discussion, so the cycle of liberation, goodness gracious. So just to kind of, I don't want to say summarize everything that we've talked about in the class, or in all of my fieldwork things, but because this isn't my last video, so try to do a summary right now, is it kind of, I don't want to say pointless, but why would I summarize it now if I'm this isn't the last video? But so I'll probably do some type of summary thing next week, or I guess this week. I don't know, next video I'll probably do a little summary of what I've learned and what has happened and stuff like that. But to kind of touch on something that I've been working on throughout this process is being more gender inclusive. So specifically looking at, like, instead of saying you guys. So I say you guys like a lot. Like a lot. And it's not something that I try to be, like, gender exclusive or inclusive about. It's just, how I, address a group of humans. But, I realize that there are better words for it, so, or, better phrases to address a group of humans than to say you guys. But, so I noticed that, like, gosh, like the first or second, the very first one, sorry, I scrolled up on my outline. So I noticed that the first time that I volunteered, because we'd just gotten done talking about gender too in class, and I was like, wow, I say that a lot. I said it like at least 3 times in the course of like the hour and 45 minutes I was there, and I was like, whoa, I need to be better at that. So again, kind of bringing it back to the cycle of liberalization. That was kind of like my waking up stage. Like, that was when I was like, oh, this is something I need to change about myself. This isn't, like, I'm not being as inclusive as I should be. I need to be more inclusive. So, sorry, I'm, like, reading the cycle of liberation on, online, and I'm, like, matching it as I go. So, I apologize if there's some, like, really awkward pauses, but I'm, like, reading. So the getting ready stage, like, that would definitely be me, like, kind of, becoming, like, really, really aware of when I use you guys. So, like, dismantling collusion, privilege, and internalized oppression. So, like, realizing when I do it, and, like, not only just, like, oh, that's a cool thing, noticed it, just, like, really, like, realizing what situations I use it in, and, like, really actively being, like, flagging it in my brain, being like, that's not something that's okay, like, it's something you need to change. Movement out of self toward others, seeking experience and exposure, speaking out, naming initiatives, taking stands, using tools, exploring and experimenting. So, exploring and experimenting in the reaching out stage, I guess you could say, like, kind of using different terms, so different languages, and, not different languages, but, like, different phrases, there you go, that's the word that I was looking for, sorry. Using different phrases as opposed to you guys, and just seeing, like, which one, like, not necessarily feels right, but, like, one that, like, makes the most sense in my vocabulary. So, like, you don't, like, I wouldn't say, like, go up and, like, hey, you humans, you individualized meat suits, you, like, that's kind of what I mean. So, like, seeing whether or not I would say, like, y'all or you all or something like that. And I kind of established that, like, you all, like, not the contraction, like, works best. I don't know, it sounds, like, really weird and kind of, like, not flowy, but it, like, makes the most sense when I'm like, I don't know, it just makes the most sense in my brain. So, like, that like, it made the transition from you guys to you all just, like, easier because it made more sense. Working with others, both people like us. Questioning assumption rules, structures of systems. So, building community, I kind of questioned why I use this, but, like, not totally, I guess you could say. Like, I knew that it was wrong, because I was like, so I guess that could be the building community, because I, used my class knowledge and established, hey, Marissa, this is not as gender inclusive that then you need to be, and as a teacher, you need to be gender inclusive. You can't say you guys, because that, while it doesn't sound bad, it's, like, a very, like, accepted thing in our culture. It, there are better wordings for it, and, taking that step means that, like, I can, take that step to, be more gender inclusive and other ways as well. So I guess that could be a way that, sorry, I like totally like lost my, what was I see? Oh, because so that would be a way that I could like, you know, build that community that I used like class knowledge. So I just noticed that this video is now like 10 minutes long, so I'm going to leave the rest of the cycle for next week and kind of, you know, discussing, or at least next video, and discussing this, the rest of this, like, I don't know, process, and kind of relate it back to the, like, the summary of the entire thing, because I think the cycle of liberation is a good way to, like, summarize this entire experience as well. So, yeah, I'm sorry this video is so long, and I'm sorry that it's unfinished, but I will finish it next video.